Assalamu alaikum, my dear students of class 10. Today I am going to discuss chapter 12, MySQL. Now what is MySQL? MySQL is a database software used to deal with the data in a database. MySQL is as in class 9 you have been taught and I have discussed about MS Access 2010. MS Access 2010 was also a database software which was a part of RDBMS, Relational Database Management System. So MySQL is also a RDBMS software. RDBMS means Relational Database Management System software, and it is MySQL is much more popular than MS Access 2010 because it has a wide range of applications. MySQL was developed by David Exmark, Alan Larson and Michael Wideness, who worked together since 1980, and MySQL is capable of handling large data sets and is also essentially used for web-based application. Now, in today's global world, our data is being exceeding, much and much more data is coming. So, for this type of data, for much more data, MySQL is much more advantageous than MS Access 2010, and also it is essentially used for web-based any software, web-based applications. And another benefit of MySQL is that MySQL is platform independent. That suppose if I make any MySQL database in Linux, so that will work in Windows because they are platform independent. And the full abbreviation of MySQL is My Structured Query Language. MySQL means My Structured Query Language. Now what do you mean by query? Query, as already we have got, query is a question that we ask about a database. So MySQL means My Structured Query Language, and this My is given after the name of Michael Wideness' daughter. Daughter name was My. From there My came, and My Structured Query Language. Now I shall discuss about the commands associated with MySQL. So basically there are 5 type of commands that is associated with MySQL. First one is DDL. DDL means Data Definition Language. Now data definition language, the statements of data definition language are basically used for defining, means adding, deleting, modifying the data of a database. And DDL includes some commands like create, alter, drop. There are another 3 that truncate and comment. So these commands are associated with DDL, data definition language. Here the data associated with the database is defined with these commands. Then we have another type of command, that is DML statement. Now the full abbreviation is Data Manipulation Language. Now data manipulation language is used to manage, this statement is used to manage, that means add, delete or modify databases. And the command associated with data manipulation languages are select, insert, then we have update, delete, So basically we use select, and for selecting a database, select, insert. So these are the command associated with data manipulation language. Then we have TCL. TCL means transaction control language. TCL, transaction control language. Now transaction control language, these statements are used for managing the changes which are made by DML statements. Now DML statement may change, may alter, or may change some database. So these are being managed, changes are being managed by transaction control language, and they include the commands like commit, then we have rollback. So these are the commands associated with TCL, transaction control language. Then we have DCL. DCL means data control language. Now data control language statements are used to give or withdraw the access privilege to the user. Now for example, there is a database, I have created a database in MySQL. Now whether the database of that database can be accessed by any other one beside user. So that access is granted or is being revoked by data control language. So here in DCL there are two commands associated with this: grant and revoke. Grant means what? Grant means granting access. Granting access is known as grant, and revoke means rejecting the access control. And lastly we have DQL. DQL is data query language, and data query language includes commands like select, then show, then help. So these are the commands associated with data query language. Now coming to how can we install, how can you open MySQL software. Now MySQL, there are various versions of MySQL available, so we can take or you can download any of this version, and basically in your book it is said that they are following MySQL Server 5.6. It is version 5.6. So when we take it, so after installing it, we can click on start button, then all programs, then under all programs we find MySQL. In MySQL you will find another MySQL Server 5.6, and then in MySQL 5.6 command line client. In that interface we can type the command in MySQL command line client. Now coming to the commands. So what is the command? To after opening the interface of MySQL, we can view the version. We can view the version of MySQL by giving the command select version. Now select version, this is bracket and this is also bracket. So opening and closing, and then I given semicolon. Now select version bracket semicolon. This statement is, or this command is used to see the version of the current MySQL application. Select version. In your book, you can see when this command is typed, then the version is showed. Another thing, basically MySQL applications are password protected. So whenever we install it, we give a password, we set a password to the application. So whenever we open that MySQL, we have to give the same password for typing the comments on the MySQL interface. Now creating a database. So first I will start with how to view the available or current databases in a MySQL server. So the command is show databases. Show databases command, when we give in the interface, so what will happen? It will show the list of the database available on the current MySQL server. So in your book, you can see in page number 204, figure number 12.15, when the command show databases, then semicolon, when the command show databases was given, then it has showed the list of existing database in the current MySQL server. Next, how to create a database. Now what is the command? The command is basically create command. Create command is used to create a database. So I write create, then database, create database. If not exist, database name, then we'll give a semicolon. So the syntax for creating a database is create database, if not exist, database name. Here if not exist is optional. We may give or we may not give. If you don't give also no harm, but why do we give if not exist? See, maybe that I am creating a database and same name database is available on the server. So I am typing that if there is no database of the same name, then create it. For this reason we are giving if not exist. Means what? If it doesn't exist, create it. This other means what? If exist, don't create it. So suppose I am going to create a database name school. So what will be my syntax? So syntax will be create database, create database school, semicolon. See, if not, as I told, if not exist is optional. We may give or we may not give. So this is the syntax for creating a database named school. So it is create database school. So school is the database name. Now how to activate a database or how to work with a database. Now for example, I have created a database named school. Now how can I work or how can I insert a table in that particular database, or how to activate the database. So basically the general syntax for activating a database is or working with the database is use database name, semicolon. So for example, the database I created earlier was school. So it will be use school, semicolon. So use statement is used to activate or work with a database. Now how to remove a database? So the general syntax for removing a database is drop. Here what happened, for deleting or removing a database, drop command is used. So drop database, if exist, then actually the line is continuation here because of the space constraint. I am writing in new line, but actually it continues. Drop database if exist, database name. As I have already told, in creating a database, we are giving like this: create database, if not exist, database name. So in deleting, we are giving drop database if exist. You just see here, while creating, I have given what? If not exist means what? If the same, if that particular name database, if there is no database of the same name, then create it. This means what? If there is a database of same name, don't create it. Here I am deleting. So what I am deleting? I am deleting already which is there. For this is I am written what? If exist. Here also, if exist is optional. We may give or we may not give. So for example, I want to delete the database name school. So my command will be drop database name is what? School. So if I give this command, what will happen? The database I have created name school will be deleted or removed. Now coming to the important part, data types. What the data type associated with MySQL? Basically, we are going to insert some data in the database. Now before that, we should declare the types, the data types of the data. For example, a number can be a data, a text can be a data, a date can be a data. Now what are the format? Basically, when you go to number system, the number system are two types. One is whole number, another is numeric or fractional number. In the whole number and fractional number means what? Whole number are the numbers without decimal point, and fraction numbers are numbers with decimal point. So they have been divided into integer and float or double. Now when we talk of text may be car means at a fixed size, or it may be a variable size character. Or when you go to for date, we have date and type of a date, year, month. So based on this, MySQL data types are divided into some categories. Now the data type in MySQL can be determined by some characteristics. They are the number of bytes it takes for storage. Now as in my earlier classes, in some class I told you that int, if you take int data type and the float data type, now the memory storage size of int is smaller than the float. That is, float data type consumes much memory, actually consumes more memory than int. So the size, the data types are being differentiated by the number of bytes. Number of bytes means the memory space it takes for storage. Like say car, character. Now the character data types are basically, they take less memory space than compared to int and float. So based on memory storage, the data types are being categorized. Another is the kind of value it represent. Now basically integer, floating, number, integer, floating or text. So they are different types of values. So based on these two categories, memory size and the value kind of values. The data types of MySQL are categorized into like numeric, either whole number or fractional. We have text, car, worker, or we have the date and time, which is date, time, and year. So if I talk about the whole number data types are of two types. One is small int, and or if it is bigger type of number, it is int, or it will be integer. This is or, here either this or this. So small int is basically used to represent whole numbers of smaller size, and int or integer data type is used to represent whole numbers of bigger size. Then we have the fractional numbers. The fractional numbers are either it can be float or it can be decimal. Float or decimal. So float is like this: size, comma d, that I am discussing, size, comma d, either of this type, or it can be of double, size d. Now what is the difference between this float and double? Float or decimal data types, they can hold fractional numbers to a certain limit. Now the bigger type of fraction numbers is represented by double data type. Now what is size comma d? Size comma d means what? What is the total size of the number, and d means after decimal point how many digits are there. Say for example, I have typed like this: float 5,3. So float 5,3 means what? Say a number of like this. Total size of the number is, this represents, size represents the total size of the number. So it is 5-digit number. So 5-digit number. After decimal point, the maximum value it can take, it is 3. So you can see 45.231. So total size 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and after decimal point 1, 2, 3. This is the maximum. We can take a smaller value also, but this is the maximum size. Maximum means total size maximum is 5, and comma 3 means after decimal point how many digits are there. So maximum is 3. So this is size comma d. Then I will be talking about the text types. The text types contains two type of data type. One is car and another is varchar. Car and varchar. Now what is the difference? The car data type is used to represent fixed length characters ranging from 1 to 255 characters, and the varchar data type is used to represent variable length string from length from 1 to 255. And what is size? Size means the total size of the number of characters. Size means the number of characters. For example, if I give like this, car 2, that means what? That can take 2. So like this, A, B. So it can take 2 characters. So this size represents the number. So it is represented in integer 1, 2, 3, 4 like this. Then we have the date and time types. The date and time types consist of 4 data types. They are date, then time, then we have year, year, and we have date time. Date time. The date format is basically like this. First is the year 2020, say month is 5 and day is 6. So this means what? 6th May means 5 January, February, March, April, May. 6th May 2020, and it is the value is always given in the inverted comma. Same is the case of car and worker also. As earlier I have written like A1, so or AB. So the values of car, worker, and all these values, date, time, year, date and time, these all values when we insert inside the database, the values are given within single inverted comma. Time can be like this, say 1 p.m. 1 p.m. So we write like this, 1 means 13, say 1 5, and this is second 20. This is hour, minute, second. So like this the format are given, and year is basically a year like 2020, and date and time means what? Together date and time. So it will be like this. What is first is date, so it will be like this, 2020 5 6, then we will give a space, then we will write, say, actually there is some space constant is there, so I am writing in next line, say 13 5 20. So this two line we will write in single line, but here because of space, less space, I have written in two line, but they basically we write in one line, and we give this value within single inverted comma. So these were the data types of MySQL. Now the most important part of a database is the table. So a table is what? Basically a table is represented by column and the rows. As we know that the vertical portion are known as columns and horizontal are known as rows. The vertical, other name of vertical is field, column is known as field, and the rows are known as record. And the number of rows denotes the cardinality of the table. The row represents the cardinality of the table, and the column represents the degree of the table. Now there are some rules for naming a table. These are very important. What are the rules? You must understand it. A table name can have a maximum of 30 characters. A table name cannot exceed more than 30 characters. So it will have either 30 or less than that, the table name. Number 2, the table name can contain characters like from capital A to capital Z, or small a to small z, or numbers 0 to 9. So combination of this I can make at any table. Number 3, a table name must begin with the alphabet. Now table name can contain numeric values, but the table name should begin with the alphabet. So say if I write school, table name is say school, say school. If I write one school, it is invalid because we cannot start with a digit. It must always begin with a alphabet. But if you have suppose say S 1 2 3, it is valid because it can contain digits, and the first character is alphabet. Number 4, the special character underscore is allowed. Now the underscore character is allowed, which is used to join two words. For example, if the name is like this, student data, so student, we can write like this, student underscore data. Suppose the table name is student data, so you can write like this, student underscore data, so it is valid. But if I give you a space, no table will be created, but you get to give like this, or you can remove this underscore you can write in one word, student data. But if you want to basically when we are joining two words, we give underscore. So this is valid. And lastly, reserved words are not allowed. Now there are some reserved words like show, create, alter, select. This type of reserved words cannot be used as the name of the table. So these were the 5 rules for naming a table. Now I will show you the syntax for creating a table. So basically for creating a table, we use the syntax create. We use the command create. The create command is used to create a table. So the entire syntax is like this: create table, create table, then table name, create table, table name, then we will give a bracket, then under this we will give the name of the columns. So it will be like this: column, column name 1, then columns, data type, then size, then constraint. Constraint means either it is primary key, whether it is primary key or whether it is not null, like this. So then we will give a comma, then we will give a comma, then we will have the next column 2 data type, column 2 size. Now constraint, primary key constraint is used in a table only for once, because this particular key uniquely identifies each record in a table. So basically we basically have a one column as the primary key. So it may have constraint like not null, or it may not have a constraint. Now the size also. For example, if I take int data type, so this size will be not there. Now size will be basically there in case of float or in case of char or varchar data type. Now I shall show you the example. You can see in your book page number 207, there is a table is there. So I am going to create that table, that student table, roll number, name, total marks, grade, date of result. Now how can I create that table? So my command will be create table, table name. My table name is what? Student. So create table student, then I give a bracket. Now what is my first column? My first, as you can see in the book page number 207, my first column is roll number. So I will write roll number. Now what is the data type? Because first we have the column name, then data type, then size, then constraint. So first is what? Roll number, column name. Column roll number data type is what? Int. Int. Now int data type does not have size, so size is not there, and constant is what? Primary key. So I will write primary key. Primary key. Then we will give a comma. Then next one. Next is what? Name. The name column have the data type varchar. 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 As I have already told, in varchar we have to give the size. Already size is given what? 20. And 20 basically size we give within bracket. Size we give within bracket, first bracket. And constant is there. Constant is what? Not null. Not null. Then we will give comma. Next one is what? Total marks. Total, say I am making different one. Total marks. You can write like this, so give an underscore, or you can give a within a single word. Total marks. Total marks. Data type is what? Int. Size is not there, and you can see there is no constant. So I will give a comma here. Then we have grade. Data type is what? Car. You can see in the table, data type is what? Car. Size is 2. Is there any constraint? There is no constraint in it. Then we have date of result. Date of result. Data type is what? Date. In data type date we do not give size, so just date. Is there any constraint? Yes, constraint is there. Not null. Not null. Finished. So I will not give a comma because this is the last one. We will not give a comma. Go to the next line. As we open the bracket here, so we are closing it and then give a semicolon. So this is how I have created. This is the syntax. This is the syntax for creating that table which is there in your book. I am just showing an example. You can see in page number 231 there is a table. So you try to make the syntax of that, you try to make the commands of that table. So I am just giving a brief explanation. So you can see in page number 231 the columns are coach ID, coach name, sports, date of app, salary. So what will be there? So and you can see in the question written, write the MySQL query to create a table coach. So it will be like this: create table coach, create table coach. Then you can see here will be coach ID, data type integer int, there is no size and constant is primary key, comma. Then we go to next line, coach name, varchar, size is what? 15, here will be 15, and constraint not null. Then we have sports, column sports varchar. So sports varchar, size is 20, then you give a comma, then go to next line, date of app, then data type is date and constant is not null, and then you have salary, last one salary int, then you close that opening bracket and give a semicolon. Understand? So this is the way how can you this is the how can you create a table. This is the commands. Now after creating a table, suppose we want to see the structure of the table. So what is the syntax for viewing the structure of the table? So the general syntax is basically we the DESC or describe command is used to see the structure of the table, or it is used to display complete information. Suppose we want to view the complete information about the table, so we will give desk. So DSC, then what? Table name. Table name. So it is a table name. Describe table name. As for example, I have created a table what? Name student. So suppose I want to view the structure of the table student. So my query will be DSC student. DSC student, then I will give a semicolon, or we can give describe student semicolon. Now so for example, a little bit ago I show you few minutes ago I show you that how to create a table name coach. Suppose, so how to see the structure of coach, the table coach, it is DSC coach. Now the next, I was discussing about the primary key, null, not null. These are all known as constraint. So what do you mean by constraint? Actually constraint are basically the rules. Constraint are some rules that that help ensures the validity of the data while entering data in a table. So while we are entering a data in a table, so whether the data is valid or not, that is ensured by constant, and basically the constant we have our primary key, not null, null, then we have enum, set, unique. But basically regarding to your syllabus, we will be discussing with this like primary key, not null, and null constant. Primary key means what? In a database, a table may have a primary key which uniquely identifies each record in a table. This is primary key. And not null means not null constant we give. Basically, if you want that for a particular column, the value must be given, the value cannot be left empty. So, we give not null, and null constant we give basically in case we want that that particular column can be left empty. So, we give null. Now, as we have created I have shown you how to create a database, how to use a database, how to delete a database, and how to create a table under that database. Now, I will showing you how to insert the values in a database. So, let me just make a small table to make you understand. For example, this is my table, roll number, then we had name, roll number, name, then we had let me make it bigger, roll number, name, then total marks, grade, and date. Suppose I am writing short for date of result means DOR means date of result, say roll number 1, 2, roll number 1 is Abdul, 2 is John, total marks 450, John 405, grade is say A1, this is grade is B1, date of result is say 2026 5, and this is the same say 2026 5. Say this is the table. So, how can I insert this data in a table? So, basically we use the insert command for inserting a data in a table. So, it will be like this: insert into then table name. So, insert into like this, insert into table name values, then we will give the values. Now, see, suppose the name of this table is student. So, what will be like this? It will be like this: insert into student, insert into student values. Now, see here, roll number is integer 1, comma, then we have the name. Whenever you give be the actually there it is continuation, but because of space constraint I am typing in the new line, but actually this is continue. Then see Abdul. Now, Abdul, as because the name is, as I told, car worker and date and time data types, the values we give within single inverted comma. So, the value Abdul is I give this single comma. Then we have this 450, total mark by integer. So, we give 450 comma, Then we have grade. Grade was car, and car data we basically give within inverted comma A1, and then we have the date, and the date format we also give within inverted comma. So, within inverted comma we write 26/5. This means what? May 5th, 26/5 means 5th June, 2020. Let me just erase it. Let me, actually I am just continuing, I am writing down for space constraint, I am writing down, okay, but it should continue the same line. So, it is like this 2020 June, and this like this. Then we will, as you give bracket here, we will close the bracket here and give a semicolon. So, this is how we can insert this data, this record in a table. Insert into table name, here student, values, then we will give values. We will give the values in the serial order, in the order in which that table is created. First, in the creation table, we have given the roll number, then we have given name, then total marks, then grade, and then date of result, and we give like this. And basically for values like car, worker, and date format, we have to give the values in single inverted comma, as I given this one, and this one. You can see int and float, these are numbers. It is not mandatory to give within inverted comma, we can give as it is. Okay. Suppose I want to insert more than one value together, so how can I do it? So, it is, this we can also done, this can be also done. I am showing you. Insert into student, then values, VLUES values, then first is 1, then Abdul, within inverted comma Abdul, then total marks 450, then within inverted comma A1, because it is car, then you have the date, it is 2026 and 5, then we close this bracket, okay, and we give a comma, so I am closing the bracket, okay, let me close the bracket here. So, actually I am just erasing to make it clear. So, we write like this 2026 5, then we close the bracket and give a comma, then the next value 2, it is John 405 within inverted comma B1, and we have the date 2020 06/05. Suppose finished, then we have to give a semicolon. If not finished, we will give a comma and we will continue like this. This is the way how can you insert more than one values, and earlier one was how to insert a single record. Now, suppose we want to make some changes to the structure of a table. So, we can make any changes to structure of the table by alter table command. Basically, the alter table command is used to make any changes to the structure of the table. Now, see, difference is what? Suppose I want to insert a new column in this table. So, I have to use command alter table. Suppose I want to delete a column from this table. So, I will use alter table command, drop command. Suppose I want to change the data type of this column, or I want to change the size of data of this column, or like this. Means if you want to make any changes to the structure of the table, we will use the alter table command. The alter table command is used to modify the structure of an existing table, not the new one. Basically, for modifying the structure of existing table, we use the alter table command. Now, with this command, we can add or delete column. We can change the data of existing column. We can rename column. Suppose I want to change the name of this column, so we can use alter table command. Then we can delete table also, or we can add delete constraint like primary key not null. So, starting, suppose first I am going to add a new column. Suppose I am going to add a column of this table. So what will be my general syntax? So my general syntax is like this: alter table, then table name, then add new column name, then data type, size, like this. Data size, we can add more than 2 columns also together. So I am just showing one. See, alter table name, add new column name, then the columns data type, and if exists size, because if I use the int data type does not have size, or if I use the date and time data type, they do not have size. But in case of float, double, decimal, the fractional numbers and the text, we must give the size. But this size is optional. It depends on the data type whether to give the size or not. For example, I want to insert a column named as a phone number. I want to insert a column named phone number in this table. So what will be my command? So it will be alter table. My table name is what? Student. Alter table student, add, and say my column name is phone number. So add phone, 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 say no, phone, no means phone number, and the data type of the phone number is say int. Now int data type does not have size, and so like this. Suppose you want to make this one as primary key, then we will write what? After it I write primary key. Suppose we want that it should not have, it must have values, then we will give what? Not null. So after that we will give a semicolon. So this is the way how we can, for example, if I want the phone number should be varchar, so I will add phone number varchar, and I can give a size, say 20, 15, like this. I can give a size. So this is the way how I can insert a new column. Now this particular new column, phone number, will be inserted at the last after date of result. It will be inserted at the last after date of result. For example, I want to insert the column phone number in between name and total marks. I want to insert the column phone number after name. So what will be my command? So it will be like this: alter table name, add new column name, data type, size, then you will write after that column name, So here suppose I am going to insert a column, I am going to insert the column phone number after name. So it will be alter table student, table name means student, add phone number, data types, then size, int size is not there, phone number int, after what? After which column? After name. After name, then you will give a semicolon. I think you understand this one, and you have, I think you can differentiate between the earlier one, it has the column got inside the last, and if you want to insert a column at a specified place, so we will use the after one. Suppose I want to insert the column at the first place, here at the first column, here before roll number. So what will be my general syntax? So this is very easy. So I will just type what? When you use the word FIRST, first. So like this, if I give first, after this phone number int, first, then semicolon, then what will happen? The column phone number will be added before roll number at the first position. So these are the various locations, the various types by which we can add a column in a table. Now how to modify existing column? How can you modify an existing column? Now what are the modification we can do in existing column? Basically we can change the data type, we can change the size, we can change the constraint of an existing column. So the syntax for changing the data type or size of a column is alter table name, modify, then that column name. Which column I am going to modify? Column name, then new data type and new size. Now see, say for example I want to change the data type and size of grade. Say grade, I want to, because when I have created table, the data type of grade was car. As you can see in your book, when you have created table, that the data type of car, you can see in page number 207, the data type of grade was car and size was 2. Suppose I want to change the data type of grade. So what I will do? So my command will be, suppose I want to make it var car and I want to make the size as 10. So it will be like this: alter table. The table name was what? Student. Alter table student, modify. Now which column I am going to modify? I am going to modify grade. So modify grade. See, this is the continuation. This is the continuation of this line, because of space constraint I have written this one in new line. Here also, because I am going here, so don't think it's different line, they are same line. Modify grade, I am going to change grade, column name, then new data type. So I am typing what? Grade, varchar, and new size is say 10. So this is the way how we can modify the existing column. We can modify the data type, we can modify the size also. Suppose I want to modify the size, I want to modify only, I don't want to modify the data type, I want to modify the size of name. So simple. So what? As because my earlier, so modify name and the data type of name was varchar. Okay, varchar, I am not changing varchar. Now the size was what? 20. When you can see in page number 207, while creating the table, the name column size was 20. Suppose I want to make it 30. So I have kept the data type as it is. So size 30. So I have changed the size. So this is the way how we can modify the data type or the size of an existing column of a table. We can also see, we can also change the place also. Suppose you want to take the name at the first position. So what will do? Alter table student name, modify name like this. Then you write here first. Then what will happen? This column will go at the first position. So this is the various ways how we can do modification to existing column. Now how to rename an existing column? How to change the name of an existing column? So this is what the general syntax is. So the general syntax is alter table name, then we'll write here change, and this is the continuation. Remember, because of space constant I am writing in new line, but these are not in the new line, actually this is continuation. Change old column name, then to new, then we write new column name, new column name, then data type and size. Now say for example, now the general syntax for renaming a column or changing the name of a column is alter table name, change old column name, the earlier name, then new column name, then the data type of that column and the size. For example, I want to rename the column name to name or student name. So what will be my general syntax? So it will be like this: alter table student, because the name of the table is student, alter table student, change. Just let me give so that you can understand. I am giving a mark here. Alter table student, change. Now I am going to change what? Name column. So change name, change name. Suppose I want to change it to what? Stu name, means student name. Suppose say stu name. So this was my, see, old column name. So this was my old column name. New column name is what? Stu name, and data type say varchar, say size is 30. So this is the way how can we rename an existing column. You can change the name also. Also at the same time we can suppose I want to take it after total marks. So I write after, then you write after here, after total marks. So this modification you can do. Suppose now how to delete a column. How to delete a column. So the general syntax for deleting a column is alter table name, alter table. Achha, you may think that I am giving angle, but when I am writing the general main command, I am not giving angle, because this angle I am giving just to identify, differentiate. But while giving the command, we do not give this angle. Table name, alter table name, then we are going to delete. So we will use the command drop column name, drop just column name, column name. Here in your book you may find in the general syntax it is given that alter table name, drop column name. So there the name column we may mention that yes you delete column. It is not mandatory that you can give here like this, a drop column, then column name. So it is not matter, we may give or may not give. Suppose I want to delete say this one, total marks. I want to delete the column total marks. So what will be my syntax? It will be alter table name is what? Student. Alter table student, then drop, because drop command is used to delete, to remove a column. So alter table student drop, then column name is what? Total marks. Total marks. Finished. Here you can see I have written a column, but I am not given that this is, so this is optional, this is not mandatory. So alter table, table name, drop, column name. So it is alter table, table name, drop, column name. By this command we can delete a column, we can delete a column. We can also delete more. Suppose we want to simultaneously we want to delete 2 columns. So just what we will do, suppose I have to delete this one, so date of result, so comma DOR. So what will happen, 2 columns will be removed, will be deleted from the table. Now how to rename a table? See, in my earlier point I told you how to rename a column. Here I will discuss how to rename a table. So the general syntax for renaming a table is like this: alter table, old table name, then to old table name, then basically the command rename, the command rename is used to rename a table. So alter table, old table name, rename to new name, new table name. Finished. Here also to is not mandatory, it is optional, means we are changing from old one to new one. So this giving 2 is not mandatory, it is optional. For example, the name of my entire table was student. Suppose I want to change it to Al-Hira student. Say Al-Hira student. So what will be my syntax? Alter table, alter table. So old name was what? Student. Rename and see 2 I told optional, it is optional. Rename, new name is what? Al-Hira. Suppose say Al-Hira STD, Al-Hira STD. So what will happen, that particular table earlier name was student, so it will now new name will be Al-Hira STD, Al-Hira STD. So this is the way how can you rename the table name. Then how to delete a table? So the general syntax to delete a table is drop table if exists table name, then semicolon. Drop table if exists table name. Here also I am telling if exists is optional. We may give if exist means if the table exists, delete it. But if the table doesn't exist, so what to delete? So if exist means if the table exists, then delete it. So this is optional. So I can write like this: drop table. Suppose my table name was what? Student. So drop table student. So what will happen? That particular table student will be deleted from the database. We can also add or delete constraint. Now how to add a constraint? We can also add or delete constraints. How to add a constraint? Suppose I want to add suppose roll number. The roll number column does not, say for example, I'll give you example. Say for example, the roll number column does not have constraint like primary key. Suppose I want to add the constraint primary key to the roll number. So what will be my syntax? So syntax will be like this: alter table name is what? Student. Alter table student. Now I am going to add a primary key. So add primary key. This is continuation of this line. primary key to which column? Roll number. So within bracket I will write the name of the column. So what will happen? The column, what will in this column roll number, the constant primary key will be added. Say for example, I want to insert a suppose I want to insert, say, the to this column, I want to this column grade I want to insert constant, say, not null. So what will be add not null, add alter table student add, then we have to give the constant name add not null within bracket which column? Grade. So what will happen? This constant not null will be added into that column grade. And we can also delete also any we can also delete, suppose roll number has the constant, so primary key, so I want to delete that constant. So it is what? Alter table, table name is student, drop primary key, Now you may be asking, sir, when we are adding the primary key to the roll number, we have given primary key within bracket, we have written roll number, name of the column. Here I am removing the constant of roll number, but why I have not mentioned the name of that column? Because in a table there will be only one primary key, okay, and that it will understand that which column contains primary key, that column constant primary key will be removed. So it is not mandatory to mention the column name. Now coming to, now this was all about just changing the structure of the table. Now how can we select the data of a database? How can you retrieve or how can you see the data of the database? So basically the select statement is used to retrieve 0 or more rows, means which is also known as the records of a table. The general syntax is select column 1, column 2 from table name, where condition, group by, having group by condition, all this. Now there are three ways to retrieve data from a table. One is selected columns and all rows. Another is selected rows and all columns. Another is selected columns and selected rows. So three were there, and basically we select, we can select particular row or all columns, and we can also do what? We can select all columns or particular row, like this we can do something. So first I will show you how to select selected columns and all rows. See, selected column and all rows. Now command will like this: select. Suppose I want to see the data of the column, roll number, name and total marks. So what will be my general syntax? Select column name, roll number, comma, name, comma, total marks, from where? From table name. From my table name was what? Student. Actually this line is continuation because of the space constraint I am writing in new line, but this is the continuation, same line, from student. See here what will happen. I have given, I want to select roll number, name and total marks from. So what will happen? This particular syntax will show the table up to here. This particular syntax will not show grade and data result. It will show only roll number, all data. See, from student means what? all rows. So it will show all records of roll number, name and total marks, but it will not show grade and date of result, because here I have done what? I selected. But if I give the command like this, select star from student, select star from student will show you all the columns, because here no column is selected. Star means what? All. It will show you all the columns and along with all the rows, means all the fields and all the records. Select star from table. So whenever we want to see the table, database of a table, the command to see the database of table is select star from table name. Select star from table name. So select star from student. But if I give in place of star, if I give suppose say select roll number, so what will do? It will show only roll number. It will not show name, total marks, grade. It will not show. It will show here what? Because here I have selected only one column. If I want to say two columns, select roll number, comma, name. So it will show only two from student. So this is selected columns and all rows. Next one, selected rows and all columns. Just remember one thing. When I tell all columns, I have to use select star. Select star. Select star. Star means what? All columns. Select star from table name. Table name is here what? Student. Select star from student. Now here I am going to select selected rows, only particular rows, selected record I want to read. So what will happen? Select star means what? All columns from student table name, where I will give the condition, where same continuation, where condition. Say for example, I want to select all the student who has got more than, where total marks greater than equal to 400. So what will happen? This particular syntax will show me the record of all the, it will show the record means what? All records, roll number, name, total marks, grade, date of result, everything, because star is there means all columns from student. It will show the record of those students whose total marks is greater than equal to 400. So here actually, so to show both these two, say there are 20, there are some students who got less than 400, their record will not be shown. Only those student record will be shown who has got more than 400 marks. So here you can see the where clause, because I am going here, I am doing what? I am not selecting all rows, I am selecting specific rows. So it is selected rows and all columns. And thirdly, it is selected rows and selected columns. So selected rows and selected columns is like this. Say select roll number, comma, name from table name is what? Student. So select roll number, this roll number and name are what? Column name. Select roll number, comma, name from student. Student is the table name where total marks, greater than equal to say 410. See here, as I told, select star means what? It will select all columns. But here again what? Select roll number, comma, name. So it will just select what? Only two columns, roll number and name. So what is this? Is what selected columns from table name student, where and make condition where total marks greater than equal to 410. Now see one thing, in this table maybe some student got less than 400, some more than 400, some less than 300, but condition is what? My total marks is greater than or equal to 410. So all those students whose total marks is more than 410, they are not all, their only roll number and name will be displayed. So this is selected column and selected rows. So this was about their three. This selected, first one was what? Selected, first one was selected column and all rows. Then selected rows and all columns, and last selected rows and selected columns. Now how to eliminate duplicate values? How to eliminate? Maybe it may happen that in my table there may be some duplicate values, means the 2 times values are there, same values 2 times. So how to eliminate, how to delete it? To display only unique values, the distinct clause can be used. It can be used in a select statement. The distinct clause scans through the values of the specified table columns and displays on unique. Say the general syntax is what? Select distinct. Select distinct what? Column name. Column name from table name, table name, from table name. So what will happen? It will only select distinct, the unique, no duplication, only distinct column from table name. For example, I want to select the distinct say grade. Maybe many students got A1, many students got B1. So now my grade point is what? Say A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2, like this. So how many distinct values are there? 6. A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2, 6 are there. But say there are 100 students. Now grade will be 100. Some 10 has got A1, 20 has got B1, 30 has got C1, like this. But if I use the distinct keyword, it will show only the distinct. You can see in your book page number 216, when the query is given, select distinct, select distinct. Now column name is what? Grade. Select distinct, column is grade from student. So this will only show you the distinct values. Now the distinct values are what? You can see in a book A1, B1, A2, null, 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 like this. So it is only showing the distinct values. Now this has come from that you can see in page number 211. In page number 211 we have entered data like Sharika joined, total marks 461, like this, grade are there. Now in that, in figure 12.15 you can see a distinct values is what? A1, B1, A2 and null. So these distinct values you can see here A1, B1, A2 and null. These distinct values are coming, and sometime in place of or in place of distinct, if I write all, so what will happen? The keyword all in place of distinct will display the data from all rows. If I write in place of distinct, if I write all, all, if I write all, then what will happen? It will show all the values of all the values of data from the rows. So this was your discussion of this chapter, chapter number 12. This was discussion of chapter number 12. My SQL, because your syllabus, because the reduction because of the reduction done by the Sheva from page number 217, that is range searching, pattern matching, then relation of working operators, and deleting tables, sorting data, this all updating data in tables, these are being omitted from your syllabus. So according to the new syllabus as done by the Sheva, your course for this, the part for discussion was up to page number 216, which is retrieving all data values, and from page number 217 it is not there in syllabus. So hope you understand today's discussion. So I will be also having a practical demonstration of this chapter so that it becomes clear to you, and hope you understand. If there is any confusion, then you can call me during the as the time is given to you if there is any problem, and once the school reopens, then we can also discuss and we can also do practical so that it becomes clear to you. Till then, today up to here, and thank you. Assalamu alaikum.